All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Winner's Circle, where losers go home and winners find a way to win every single day. We are your hosts, Nicholas Camby and Anthony Furman, and we welcome you.
Welcome, guys. Thank you, Anthony. Great intro.
As always.
How's your weekend? Great performances all around at the latest Clash Super Series.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. These athletes came out, and on top of the athletes competing for the Clash spots, we had American deadlift records set in both the 64 kilo women and the 80 kilo men. We had Sean Shoemaker and Michael Bartos battling it out head to head on a max deadlift, which is something nobody's ever seen. They live in the same city and they've never went head to head on a deadlift. And Bartos is a pretty well known deadlifter as well. So that was exciting. Sean barely missed out on a new American record of 890 pounds. He got going at his knees and he just got stuck.
But how he, I don't know if you guys addressed this, but he pulled the most in a competition and not in a suit, right? Right. So did he establish a non-suit record?
So I thought about that, but after consulting, my partners, even Sean, it's not worth splitting hairs.
Well, not splitting hairs, but just like technically, is that the best? Yes,
probably.
So what was the second? So what was the second attempt? Was that 855?
That was 855, and he smoked it.
All right.
He was going to go just a straight 400 kilos, and I was like, Adam Dirks did 402. You might as well, if you're going to do 400, you might as well throw 10 more pounds. Just knock it out.
Yeah.
He told me that what he wanted was 925. That's what's his target.
That's cool.
I mean, it's great when you think about that. He weighed in under 105, and he wanted to pull 925 without a belt and suit.
Hey, that's what big boy Josh Silvis pulled at America's Strongest Man. Was 925, and he's close. He's 20 pounds away from being 500 pounds. So
I know it's amazing. This is another reason I for years I've wanted to highlight the 105 so much. It's astounding the kind of strength this class has, in not only in relation to body weight, but just in relation to being a human. They're strong.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But as we talked about, like, for instance, like Tyson, he pulled up to like 400 kilos, 880 without a suit, and then now we see 855. So that's a good standard for any strongman if you want to see where you can push it. But now Sean's putting out the standard for the American, so 855 is in competition is pretty cool. So
mid 800 pull without a suit is where you want to be at if you want to be the best.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, but speaking about number one, my boy Mike O'Connor taking the win, very confident. He had a great training session coming off that torn bicep, but he put that in the past and just focused on his goals and pounded it.
He had a great show. I'll tell you, Jesse Nelson Jesse had a great show too. He had the one that sucked. Jesse broke my heart is his farmer got stuck on the mat when he dropped it the one time, and he couldn't pick it back up because it was like lodged in the mat. And I've never seen that before. Like a stall mat came up like on the ground, and like I was like, that cost him about 8 points.
Oh.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, Mike O'Connor earned that, but like Jesse was also, they were like battling, Mike and Jesse. And also, Jesse came back and pushed him on that stone, and Mike came out and did 3 reps. He had to, and I loved it. Like, we talk all the time about finishing, about knowing what you need to do and being able to perform when it counts. And Mike O'Connor did that against great athletes, and I think he's going to be very dangerous if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's a lot of times in those runs, they have little things happen like that. But that's why you can't drop it. You gotta.
And kudos to Jesse. He recovered. A lot of people get upset and let that affect him. But Jesse came out and he still performed very well the last 2 events. So I got to give it up for Jesse for not letting that affect his performance.
Cool. And then in the third final, and of course the third person going to the Clash, we have Michael Kolotari. I don't have his name in front of me.
Calamari. I've messed up.
Kolorati. Is it Kolorati?
I messed up his name so much, man.
Mr. Me. Sorry, Mr. Me. I don't have your last name in front of us, but congratulations on making it to the big show.
And what warms my heart about this is he's traditionally a USS guy, and he's never really competed against the elite.
Did he take second behind Michael Congdon last year?
Yep.
All right. That makes sense.
Yep. And so like him coming out, like Michael, these guys coming out and throwing it in and bringing everybody together across all spectrum of the sport. You're seeing the best. and it's amazing.
Absolutely. Anthony, do you want to introduce our guest for today?
Yeah, I'm very excited. So we are hosting the second best Anthony on the podcast, Anthony San Lorenzo. If you guys don't know him, he won national. He co-won nationals with Dustin Lloyd last 2 years ago now, maybe 2 nationals ago. Very, very good strongman. He's been around Denver. He's been around for years, and he just finally pieced it all together the past couple of years. And he's very dangerous, very, very strong, very passionate about the sport, and he's a winner. So we want to talk to him.
And he's punched his ticket to Clash on the Coast 2022 finals. So it'll be very exciting. Announcements on my end, if you're, of course, again, if you're in the southern Massachusetts, northern Rhode Island area, I have my a few spots left for my press seminar. So Win the Press, Win the Show. And that's held over at Top Strength. So Mrs. Steve over there, if you're interested.
Listen, if you're within 5 hours of that area,
if you're in a day of
if you're within a day drive, you need to go. Like, I don't care if Camby is a 105 or a 200 kilo guy. Everyone can learn from him how to press. All weight classes, all genders. Go learn from this man. He's literally the best in the world at it.
And then my commitment for Saturday is that I'm leaving the dog at the grandmother's. I'm there until everybody learns how to leave that building, that knows better than before they walked in. They're going to know how to press when they leave that building. So
find someone more committed.
Commitment for Sunday.
I love it.
So that's what we're going to do. And then, and of course, maybe we're talking about it, but there's my new Italian Stallion sweatshirt with the Strength Fleet logo on the back. So
I love it.
Pretty fresh.
Love it. I'm gonna have to do a Flama Blanca one here soon.
No one wants that. Okay. I'll be the first one. I would want the blue white flame.
They forgot about the Flama Blanca already. It's okay. Did
the La Flama Blanca have a mustache back in the day?
He didn't. No. But he reinvented himself.
What's the mustache version of La Flama Blanca?
It's still La Flama Blanca. Don't you worry. I got to explain
that. Anything on your end, Anthony?
Yeah, big week coming up. All the online qualifiers to fill the rest of the slots for the Pro Series. We have a few slots open for the 82 kilo women at Hilton Head, 64 kilo women, the 80 kilo men, the 90 kilo men, and the 91 kilo women. We had over 276 athletes sign up across the weight classes, which blew my mind. Humbled every day at the support and nonstop support for this, which is amazing. And they're all fighting for very few spots, so it's going to be very competitive. They're not going to know the events until Thursday, and they have till Sunday to upload for 3 weeks straight. So I mean, it's definitely going to be a test of overall strength because you can't really prep for it.
Wow. So good luck to everybody.
Yeah, good luck to everyone.
Absolutely. So a few moments we'll have Anthony coming on. So stay tuned and stay square, and also don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the podcast.
Click the buttons.
Guys, part 2. We have Anthony San Lorenzo. Anthony, thank you for coming on. If you guys don't know, thanks, Anthony. If you guys don't know Anthony, he is the recent winner of the Clash on the Rockies, the Super Series out in Denver. He was also a co-nationals winner with Justin Lloyd in 2020 at 231, and he's a 2-time qualifier for the big show for the Clash on the Coast finals. So Anthony, welcome.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Anthony San Lorenzo.
Okay.
But yeah, we have a lot of good questions today. We're going to start off with, of course, talking a little about winning. We got some questions from the fans. Anthony has his, of course, bundle of goodies in his bag, so he's going to ask. So, yeah, you know what? Let's get right into it.
Get into it.
So, how's the off season?
It's been good, man. Like I was saying earlier, I gained a little bit of weight over the holidays. I think that's pretty normal.
So, yeah, tell the fans.
How long are your holidays? Jesus.
I mean, Thanksgiving, Christmas, shit. I mean, Clash of the Rockies was right before Halloween. So basically Clash of the Rockies happened, and then I was kind of checked out mentally.
Yes. Yeah. Yesterday was MLK Day. It's another holiday. So I guess it never ends.
Yeah. But I've been getting back into it recently. I've been kind of having some gym drama here locally, I should say. We've recently moved back to a different gym. we were training at Blacklist for a while. Blacklist closed. We moved to this place called 212. They were really good to us. They kind of took in all of us and our equipment and everything. And then a buddy of mine, Justin Menning, he's the USS state rep for Colorado, just bought a gym, Iron Warrior, where I started my strongman career. So now within the last week or so, I'm going back to Iron Warrior since Justin's taken it over. So I've kind of had a little bit of, I don't know what to say. Like, it just hasn't really been settled until the last maybe week or so. And now we can really start digging into training for Clash in the Coast.
Wasn't it sure?
That's important. You know, a lot of people don't realize it's tough. You don't have a consistent environment to train at a high level, compete at a high level. It really is a lot to be said to having your space. I don't like calling shit a safe space, but it is a safe. You know, when you're comfortable there, you know the people, you know where you just know where to go. It's not, you don't feel rushed. You know, it's your place. Right. So I'm glad you settled that, man. It's very important.
Yeah, and I'm really happy to be back at Iron Warrior. I think they're changing the name to Iron Titan. You know, Justin's a great guy. We have basically anything that you could ask for from a strongman perspective over there. So I think this is really going to be a good spot for me and for the community and for training.
You have 800 pounds of cheddar cheese blocks to deadlift?
Cheddar cheese blocks?
So you don't have everything.
Okay, yeah, we don't have everything then.
Anthony, what goals do you have for this offseason? Is any big weights you want to hit for this offseason going into the Clash, or like what do you have planned for your training?
I'm going to do a local show here, the Shamrock Showdown on March 12th. I'm going to do it as a super heavyweight. They have a max deadlift at that event. It'd be really nice to pull 800 March 12th. I know we also have that max circus dumbbell at Clash on the Coast. If I don't set a world record in that, I'd like to get as close as I possibly can.
Well, it's not a max circus dumbbell.
For reps.
It might be for some people. It might be for some people, but it shouldn't be for you.
Okay. You know what? I think I got confused then because I saw there was the max for the qualifier.
Yeah, that was for the international qual. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, work on my circus dumbbell. I'd like to hit an 800 deadlift. I think those are some of the bigger goals for me. I'd like to make the finals or the podium at Clash on the Coast. Last year didn't really perform the way I wanted to, and that's okay. It happens. Not every show can be your best one. But I'm feeling a little bit more seasoned, a little more experienced, within this last year or so. So, is it out of the realm of possibility? No. Is it a shoo-in? No. So, if the work is there and everything's done right, I can do it. I know I can.
I mean, that's the beauty of the show. You have so many athletes with such a wide variety of events. Basically, nothing's a shoo-in. Hell, there's still a throwing event, so Candy might not make the finals. You never know. I have to take it every time, Candy. I can't stop.
Dude, I can't throw either. Also, it's fine.
I want to rewind a little bit here.
Sure.
The events were released to you guys.
I guess I didn't read it then or whatever. I don't know, man. I got 10 million things going on. Every time I open my phone and look at Instagram, it's like a new post from Strengthly or Clash Series or whatever.
Well, we got
non-stop news.
News every day. News.
So much stuff going on, man.
Hey, Anthony, I would think that how close do you think you are to like a 400-pound overhead? I feel that that's out of like a lot of the guys right now. I feel like that's something that would be in your wheelhouse compared to maybe like a Justin or a Dan Hughes or something where they're more like deadlift dominant.
Over this summer, I hit a 350 log. I think it was like July or August. So, I mean, again, I think 400 isn't out of the realm of possibility. It's going to take some work.
How about like a barbell out of the rack? Have you gone heavier on that?
I haven't even tried that, to be honest. I've hit a 350 log, full clean and press from the floor. But yeah, man, I'd like to maybe give a little bit more than that to go out of the rack and see.
It sounds like he needs his blessed pressed.
So Terry knows what's up. So to Terry, when you listen to this and you digest it and all, you can put some more push presses and get him to the 400s.
Well, Terry could also read the book of Candy and then use that as a guide.
Yes, that's always the book of Candy. You can find that on the Strengthly with more programs coming out from the book of Candy. So Anthony, tell us how it was growing up as a young Italian boy, a young, talented strength athlete in New Jersey. Tell us
Well, my grandma was only Italian one. Oh,
I'm actually Italian, dude. You see, Campy and I got vowels at the end of our last name. Where's your vowel?
My grandma's maiden name's Orlando. Okay.
There you go. There you go. Let's see. Well, growing up, I played football, lacrosse. I was always pretty active. I was always in the gym. I was usually like one of the stronger people in the gym. And that has kind of helped push me into strength sports like powerlifting and strongman. I lifted all through high school, a little bit in college. And then after college, is when I really started getting into it. I started doing powerlifting, and I did 2 years of powerlifting. So I did 2013, 2014. And then in 2016, I did my first strongman competition. So we're coming up on 6 years here competing in strongman.
Wow. Oh, time flies.
Sure does.
I go back and look at those pictures, and like I did a contest here. So my first contest was May 2016. Stan Carradine was one of the judges. I knew him because he's a local guy. But Robert Oberst was at this contest taking pictures with people. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, why do people care about him? I was so new to it. I just didn't know.
Was that in Greeley?
Yeah.
I was there.
You were there too. So you didn't even know who you were.
Well, I was nobody. I was just some fat fuck at that point. I lived in Colorado still at that point. I was, my first show was in Parker Days in 2015, I think it was.
Yeah. It was the American Tribute. It was May 2016.
Yep.
We had a second dumbbell. We had some sandbag carry medley. I don't know the rest of them. But yeah, that's cool. I didn't even know you were there.
Yeah, right. That's cool.
Yeah. So that was my first show. And then I tried to do as much as I possibly could in those kind of following years. And then I think once I started competing at a higher level, like made it to nationals in the Arnold and stuff, I kind of was a little bit more.
Don't put air quotes, man. It's a big accomplishment. That was at the time, that was high level.
Now, was it the jersey inside of you that drove you to success?
I guess. I would like to be competitive, and I don't like the idea of other people being stronger than me. So I guess that's kind of what's pushed me in the gym.
Just to piggyback on the jersey thing, is it a hero or a sub?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'd probably call it a hero. It depends. I think it depends on what deli you go to and what they call it.
All right. Is it water or water?
Water. How about pork roll or Taylor ham? How about that
one? Well, they both. Isn't that both Jersey?
Yeah. North Jersey calls it Taylor ham. South Jersey calls it pork roll. So South Jersey's wrong.
There's a South Jersey?
Yeah. So that's like where the casinos are, Atlantic City.
Oh, that makes sense. Never mind.
So, and then like you have like the Philadelphia shore, right? And that's part of Jersey.
Right.
Now, did you ever go down to the Belmont, go to DJs, go happy hour, fist pump, drink some Long Island's?
I've never specifically been to DJs, but like I've been to Long Beach Island. My aunt and uncle have a place in Point Pleasant. So, I've been all up and down the Jersey Shore for sure.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I mean, Jersey's like 2 square miles, man. That whole state is so tiny.
Well, I have a special heart for Jersey. I always enjoyed the shore. I went down a few times. I've a few good wrestling buddies from Northern Jersey, so always had a fun time.
Yeah.
The Jersey.
Yeah. You wrestled in college, right? Where'd you go to
Roger Williams. So it was made up a lot of like Massachusetts and New Hampshire and Jersey guys. It was pretty much like Connecticut.
Anthony, he wrestled Brock Lesnar.
Did you really?
No. I couldn't roll with that. He's like, I lap dropped him into the stands and I told him, get out of the club, Brock Lesnar.
Damn it, Candy, you could have run with that. See, I'm trying to help you.
Next time. All right, well, let's get back on track and focus on Anthony, right?
Yes, please.
Cool Anthony, not Anthony Furman. All right. So Anthony, at this point you've had some notable wins in your career. What's some similarities between all your wins right now?
Man, you ask really good questions.
What did you do that were similar?
Well, so I think my first big win was when I tied with Justin and we won nationals. I really wanted a big deadlift going into that. I ended up splitting the deadlift with a 3-way tie with Chad Kurian and Frank Provenzano. So I worked really hard to kind of get to that deadlift, knowing that being the last event, if I could do well in that would really be a good opportunity to make up some points. That was also my first event that ever had a throw in it. So I had never trained a throw until 2020. And I think you could tell because I missed the last bag on that one.
Was that the 3-bag throw? Was that they had?
It was 4, and I got 3 of the 4. The only thing that saved me was I got 3 quick, you know.
I mean, that's always what you want to do with the bag draws. And when watching, get what you can quick, and then go for broke on the last. Depending on you, because you know what you're going to do is going into that. Right.
Yeah. Like with the throw too, it's not like you're going to pull it out of your ass comp day. Like it goes or it doesn't. Yep. It goes or it doesn't. Clash in the Rockies was another big one for me. It was cool that it was here and it was local. A lot of these events were really good for me. That overhead medley, I feel like I did really well in that one. The deadlifts is a good event for me. Farmers tends to be a good event for me. The stone event at the end, I got 4 reps on that. Had never picked up a stone that heavy before in my life. So that was cool to get 4 there.
That's pretty awesome.
So you hit 4 at 385?
Yeah.
And then, so prior in training, what was your best set or rep rank?
The heaviest stone I had to train with was a 350. So I was pretty consistently hitting the 350 for 5 in a minute. So I knew that the 5 was realistic.
All right. So that equated to 4 with 35 pounds heavier. So cool. Mm-hmm. I always like that, like that peaking dynamic.
So just get a little more back on focus. Those 2 wins we're talking about, what did you do, specifically? Because you've lost a lot too. We all have, right? We all win a lot. We all win little and lose a lot, right? Mm-hmm. What those 2 competitions where you put it all together, were there similarities those days? You know what I mean? What were the similarities that brought you to the victorious moment?
Did you eat the same foods?
Was it a confidence thing? Was it a mindset?
Yeah. I think it was a confidence thing, knowing that I could, knowing it was there.
Yeah.
Also something that I stress a lot, I coach some people locally and this is how I like to compete is you could be strong as shit, but if you don't know how to play the game, it's not going to work. Right. So you have to understand how to manipulate these implements and how to get the best score you possibly can in each event. Right. I see a lot of people go out there and just give 110% on each event, but maybe they're kind of blowing their load a little bit too early, so to speak. Right. So I put a lot of emphasis in understanding how to play the game, understanding what we're doing as athletes, because it's a little bit more than just being strong. Of course they say the strongest person will win, and they should, but you should know how to play the game that we all play here. So I try to approach competitions with that mindset. Understanding each event, having a plan going into each event, and just trying to execute that plan the best that I can. I think Clash in the Coast, I had one mess up after another. And then by the end of it, I was just checked out. The first event, I dropped the 300 a hand farmers. Why? How did that happen? Because then if you watch my 300 farmers at Clash in the Rockies, I felt like I flew with that. So, why did that happen? The block press that I didn't get, that, mentally, that really messed with me because I was going into that overhead event thinking okay, this is where I'm going to make up my points. I know circus dumbbell is a good event for me. And had I moved on to the circus dumbbell, I'm really confident I would have won that particular event, but I didn't. So I think it was one mess up after another, just kind of pushed me in the direction that I didn't want to be in.
I think what I saw with a lot of athletes at Clash, just from an outside perspective, as an athlete seeing things, I think that a good amount of you guys weren't used to having interviews the day before, having to have a little bit out of your routine. You had to do some media stuff.
Can I add it? There were interviews that you never used in the B-roll, and we're still waiting for those interview footage to come to light. So we had some good answers.
We did. We had some great answers. Blame TJ.
Are they still alive?
Yeah, they're alive. We're going to find a way to use them. We're going to set up a little better this time, do actual photos, kind of like they do for Worlds, where they have you pose and you guys can share it. Some cool stuff like that. We got a lot. We learned a lot.
Maybe we can put all the Paisans in one picture.
No. But also,
man.
Being in a tropical environment, honestly, tropical environment at a very nice hotel. It's not like you weighed in and then went back to your hotel and sat in your room all day. The way the events were run was very different. The type of events were very different than what people so I think a lot of that, honestly, had more of an impact than you planned.
Yeah, dude, I agree 100%. I was so nervous. I
think you were just starstruck with all the stars there, like Nick Camby, Martins, Nick Camby. Stars.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, it was a big deal. You guys all knew how big a deal it was. You knew there was a chance to be on ESPN. It's like it's a lot of pressure on top of taking you out of your normal routine.
Yeah, and I didn't anticipate winning 2020 Nationals. I went into that show saying a pro card is realistic. Let's get the pro card. I ended up doing better than I anticipated. Awesome. But then you guys invited me to this show. And when I got the invite, I was like, holy shit, these are all people that I've looked up to and like people I've wanted to compete at their level. And now here I am. And how did we get here? So I think it was really my first show competing at that level and my first show with that kind of like fanfare and cameras and interviews. And, I think it was just a lot. It was something new. And like, granted, one of the best weekends of my entire life. Yeah. I had an absolute blast that weekend, regardless of how I performed, like getting to meet everybody, make new friendships and build relationships and, rubbing elbows with awesome people. Like one of the best weekends of my life, hands down.
Here, I plan on being not as fat so I can actually take my shirt off.
Okay.
That's what was missing last year.
Yeah, me shirtless was missing because I was so fat and I was like, look at these guys.
It was the right type of thickness.
I mean, I personally was missing a shirtless Furman.
Don't worry, he'll be back this year because Flama Blanca's back. You guys are going to get Flama Blanca this after party.
Okay.
Anthony,
before your time, young Anthony.
Yeah, I was a little before me. Yeah.
All right, cool, Anthony. Not Anthony Furman. What's your favorite Italian dish?
Furman or me?
No, cool, Anthony.
Which one?
We're both pretty cool.
Not Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony.
Good. Our guest.
Oh man, what's my favorite? I was just in Jersey last week visiting family, and I had a very nice zuppa de pesce. It was delicious.
Can you explain to our listeners what that is?
It's a red sauce over pasta with shellfish, squid, calamari, things like that.
Is it calamari or is it the calamad?
Calamari. I when I'm not in my parents' house, I just usually say calamari. But
is it prosciutto or is it prosciutto?
It's prosciutto.
Hey, Camby, ask me what my favorite Italian dish is.
All right, hold on. Give me a second. Anthony Furman, what's your favorite Italian dish?
Prego. But out of the can, not out of the glass bottle.
You get that nice tinny flavor from the can. It's awesome.
The old Italy taste.
Yeah. Some Chef Boyardee raviolis just to
oh, that's a good idea. Put Prego on beefaroni.
Yeah.
Italy.
Yeah. And then Kraft Parmesan cheese out of the green bottle.
You might as well just use Cheese Whiz.
Yeah.
All right. Anthony San Lorenzo.
Yes, sir.
What does it take to win?
Champions are willing to do what others are not. You need to be willing to do what the other people won't. You just have to, When people ask, like, how do you do these crazy cuts? It's like, because I need to. Because if I don't, then I don't win. So you have to do the things that other people don't want to do. You have to spend the time in the gym. You have to learn the implements. You have to learn how to lift efficiently and not get hurt so you can continue to get better, right? You have to do the physical therapy and the rehab work. I need to be better about eating. I've stressed that on pretty much every podcast I've ever done, but that's part of it too. But I say it all the time, right? Like champions are willing to do what others aren't. And that's it. You got to be willing to do what someone might find uncomfortable or not willing to go that extra yard.
That's awesome.
Well, I agree. I agree with that 100%.
All right.
Nick, do you concur?
I concur. That was beautiful. That could be,
yeah.
That's good. That's what we're going to use to promote this podcast, because that's a great answer if anyone's listening. Anthony, you know, you've been coached, we've all been coached by Terrence Rady, the strongman influencer. But in his coaching style, what has he helped you the most?
Like technique tweaks. He's really good at like looking at someone's body and determining the best way or the most efficient way for them to lift something. When I first started with him, I thought I had a good deadlift. And then he sent me a message. He's like, yeah, we're changing all of this. And then at first I was like, what the fuck? Like, who the fuck did I think he is? But then I started, like, my numbers started going up and I was like, oh, well.
What were the tweaks? What were you doing before?
He had me bring my feet in quite a bit and then really stress like rooting, making sure we're activating, you know, glutes and hammies. I came to Terry from training with Brian Shaw. And when I trained with Brian, he just has a really wide.
He brought it up.
Well, I'm just saying, because Brian has a really wide stance. And
for anybody that doesn't know, Brian Shaw is a 4-time world strongest man.
Who? That means
3-time Arnold strongest man classic.
It's open season now. I can open my Brian Shaw question book.
Okay.
Go ahead. You were saying, Anthony?
But, you know, if everybody's ever watched him deadlift, he is super wide. And I think his body cavity is so big that his legs need to go farther out so that when he drops down to initiate that pull off the floor, he has to be wider. And so I just mimicked him, you know, thinking this guy deadlifts 1,000. I'm just going to do what this guy does. But that's not my body composition. And everybody's form should be a little bit different to best benefit them, you know, within that lift. So Terry had me change a bunch of stuff with my deadlift, and then that transferred to my squats and my overhead, and just like learning how to use my body more efficiently is something that he was really, really helpful with.
Cool.
Good stuff.
That's really awesome. All right. I got a good one for you. Ready? You ready for this?
Yeah.
So there's 3 spots left of the clash. So we know about a little more than 90% of the roster for the 105 kilos. So right now, most likely some groups will be like 5 or 6 people. Who would you be nervous if he was in your group? So I'm going to give you an example. Last year, I always thought that if Richie was in my group, even before we got in, I thought for some reason, I just had a feeling that he was going to kind of break out a little bit in that contest. And of course I was right, but like, he would make me nervous. He was in my group, but who's that for you going into this year?
You know, probably one of my best friends I've made in Strongman, and he's been on your podcast, Mike Congdon.
Ooh, all right.
He has that, like I said before, like champions will do what others aren't willing to. He has that ability to go there. You know, he's really good at kind of shutting everything else off and like putting on that fight or flight mode. And he just executes. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I mean, last year at Clash, he placed 3rd in his heat behind Tommy and Richie. Had one of those two not been in his heat, it's very realistic he could have made the final. It could have even made the podium. He could have made the podium. You know, so Mike Congdon, I think, has a ton of potential. And I mean, I shouldn't even say potential. He's already proved it, you know, but I think Mike is definitely somebody to look out for.
I would say you guys are almost similar builds, right? Kind of similar strengths. I would say you're probably a little more static. He's probably a little more moving event focused.
I'm probably a little bit more static. He's probably a little bit better at moving events. But still, you know, how does that then shake up?
But it's like it's a matchup, right? Like right. Sometimes it just comes down to like who matches up better. I remember before 2020, every time I faced kind of Clayton, he was generally a bad matchup because he was just like a hair better presser, a little fast. He was a little taller, faster. He's a great loader too. So Clayton always gave me. I think he's probably the only one I never beat was Clayton. Technically, Sean. I only beat him because he was hurt.
Oh, are you counting America's Strongest Man 2020 against me?
No, I'm counting America's Strongest Man, World's Strongest Man 2017.
Oh, fuck, that's right. You did podium, didn't you?
Yeah. So, so Clayton is my what's it called? My sacred cow. Maybe he'll come back and we can compete. But
sure.
We'll see. But yeah, I think a lot of people I want to bring him on because he's on our list to he's on our target.
I think
our next victim.
Well, I think he'd be a good interview. He has a lot of insight to winning.
Oh yeah. So I think that those are all my questions before we get to the fan questions. Do you want to start your segment or do you want me to start with the fan questions?
No. Wait, which Anthony?
I'm talking to Anthony Furman. Sorry.
Yeah, I really honestly, I have about 3 or 4 I'm going to ask. Nothing too crazy.
You have the floor.
The big one I want to ask about training and stuff like that is, for me, I think every athlete has a period in their life or a time or a contest they're training for that is their favorite, and they have a reason for it. So what is yours? What is your favorite period of training in your life? What, if it's a contest specific or just where you were, whatever it is, and why was it your favorite?
Probably getting ready for Clash on the Coast. We had just opened Blacklist Gym. I was coaching there. I was doing classes, and we had all the equipment that I needed to train for Clash, and we had a really great crew. So it was the highest level show I'd ever trained for, with a great crew of people in a great facility with great equipment. I just had a great time training for that event. So yeah, probably like the first half of 2021.
Was it great or not? I you could just clarify that a little more. Sorry, I had to. All right, second question. So, as people may or may not know, you are hosting Clash of the 80s.
Yes, sir.
Our 80-kilo pro show for the Clash Pro Strongman.
Yeah.
What made you take this responsibility on? Because as we discussed, I mean, it's a lot of responsibility on you. It's the first one, the first year of the pros. I mean, you're taking a lot of responsibility on. And as you know, it's not like I came begging for it. It was very, very, hey, let's do this type of thing, right?
Yeah.
Why?
The sheer fact that you asked me to do it, I was honored. The fact that you thought enough of me that I'd be able to do something like this, I had to do it. Why would I turn down that opportunity? Like, get out of here. I've always wanted, I was the USS state chair for about 3 years. So I've run my fair share of shows. I know what goes into it.
How many shows have you ran?
Maybe like half a dozen.
Wow. Oh.
Local ones, local ones.
Well,
that's good. I mean, you have to be able to do that local hard work type shit, in order to make it a nice looking show. So
yeah. My day job, I work in project management, so I do this anyway. So I'm pretty good at making the checklist, making sure we have all the things checked off. We recently secured a venue. We're going to have it at the stadium at Elitch Gardens.
Oh, I'm so excited. This is the coolest venue Strongman's had in the States in a long time. Any Strongman, any level. It's
a 5,000 person outdoor amphitheater. I'm hoping we get as full as possible. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen 5,000 people in the States watching a Strongman show.
It's that amusement park, baby. People are going to be interested.
Right, and that's
they're going to be amused.
Your entry ticket will get you entry to the event and to the park itself. So we're going to do the 80 kilos in the morning. We'll do that. And then the 105 Clash in the Rockies, we'll do that in the afternoon. So then you kind of have a 2-3 hour gap where people can go enjoy the park, go on roller coasters, do all that stuff. So I'm hoping the fact that it's like a multi-facet event. We have the 80s in the morning, we have the park itself, and then the 105s in the afternoon. That's going to draw more people in. Right. And something I've noticed about Strongman, especially on the local level, people come, they support their friends, family, stuff like that. But you need something else. Like I hosted a show once and I partnered with a local dog rescue here, and they brought a bunch of puppies in, and people went fucking crazy. There was a whole group of people just following the puppies around all day. You know,
we can make them part of the show. We can just like bring the puppies out in between and try and get someone to adopt them in between events.
Yeah. I mean, we'll announce it like, hey, this is, you know, this is Fido the dog. He's available for adoption. Who wants to take him home today?
We should give a puppy to the winner.
They want it.
That's their trophy. They get a puppy. I can't think of a better trophy, to be honest.
I'd be for that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I would say my real last question. Those are really great answers, so I don't want to hammer things too much. My last question for you, Anthony to Anthony. Forget about Nick.
Okay.
Who wins in 2022? Camby or Furman?
Camby.
Oh.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Why is that? Why is that?
Camby's been on a hot streak. He's a little bit more conditioned in the moment. He doesn't have a broken knee. Yes. I think that Furman has been making some extremely impressive progress from a static perspective. How is that knee going to hold up in a moving event? Something heavy like a yoke, farmers, sandbag carries? I don't know. Is Furman going to keep up with Camby statically? He probably will. Are you going to move the same way? You tell me.
Anthony, you have no idea how high I can fly.
I mean, I'm aware.
Anthony, you don't know how high you can fly. All right.
I'm aware.
I love that breakdown though.
All right. You know what? Let's change the interview. Now it's the roast of Anthony San Lorenzo, where we take shots.
You motherfucker.
I had a couple people message me on Instagram today and be like, I hope these are my questions. So
you know what? Let's start that.
Let's do it. Fair. Yeah.
Yeah, you ready, Anthony? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm over it. I'm over the questions.
And Unicorn Slipper Deadlifter asks, who's your favorite 80-kilo athlete?
I mean, because CJ asked the question, of course I have to say CJ. Come on.
Who's your second favorite?
Tommy.
All right, same question to you, Anthony. Yeah, who's your favorite 80-kilo athlete?
Favorite 80, well, CJ, of course, American deadlift championship holder. I just gotta concur with him. That's pretty good too. I mean, Tommy Lavelle, he is the 80 class, right?
Of course. Yeah, excellent choices. All right, Mike Gonzalez asks, how much marinara is needed for muscles?
4 quarts.
4 quarts.
That's a gallon, right? About a gallon of marinara for muscles. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Jordan F asks, when did you start lifting?
I started lifting seriously in like middle school. I went to like a real like bodybuilding North Jersey meathead type gym. Kind of fell in love with it there. Lifted all through high school. Kind of fell off a little bit in college, and then after college is when I really started lifting competitively.
Who was your first lifting idol? Just bouncing off that question.
I think everybody starts with either Arnold or Ronnie Coleman. I'll probably say Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah. No, that's super fair. I'm probably in the same boat.
It depends. It depends if you saw Twins first or if you read Muscle Development first.
Mm.
That really would. For me, that's what it was. Like I saw Twins growing up, so it was Arnold for me always.
Yeah, I don't read books.
I know you don't, Camby.
All right. The Big Buff Strongman asks, what's your favorite bagel and cream cheese combo?
Oh, I have a bagel with lox almost every day.
Is that what type of bagel? Everything bagel?
I do an everything bagel with cream cheese and lox, onions, tomatoes, and capers. I do that all
First off, isn't lox just raw fish?
Yes.
It's salmon.
Okay, so stop trying to church it up.
It's smoked salmon. It's raw, but they smoke it so it tastes a little.
So you do that every day?
Almost every day. Yeah.
Is that your breakfast? Is that your breakfast before you work out, or?
Yeah, I'll usually like during the week I'll do that in the mornings, and then when I train on the weekends, that's like my pre-training meal. Is I'll have like.
That sounds delicious. So.
Yeah.
That's a favorite meal of mine, but it's.
Yeah.
I disagree. I don't like fish, but I'm biased.
I brought one of those to the gym once, and a buddy of mine from the South saw me eating it, and he was like, "What is that, sushi bagel?" No, it's not.
Somebody's that's name rhymes with Barry Beatty. He gave me it once, and I threw up.
He gave you a bagel with lox, and you threw up?
Yep, I gagged. I didn't know what it was.
It's not for you then.
Yeah, like I didn't know what it was. I just tasted it, and I was nope, it wasn't happening.
Well, any good food is not good. It's not for Anthony.
I love Applebee's.
If it's not GMO, I don't want it.
That's the difference. That's what's going to carry me that extra rep, that extra second faster than you is GMOs.
Got it. Yeah, it's all the MSG they use at Applebee's.
Yep.
Is that the place you get like the 2 for $20 dinner? You gonna do that? Like,
well, it's 2 for $25 if you want the good food.
Okay.
All right. Mr. San Lorenzo, Ali Slav asks, any diet tips for staying in the weight category that you are?
I'm the wrong fucking person to ask that question to.
Ali, go to a different podcast.
This is not that podcast. Go to Rogan with that shit.
But speaking of nutrition, Becca Lorch asks, who's your favorite nutrition coach and why is she the best? Obviously, she's speaking about herself. So to make it a challenge, you describe why she's the best in 3 words.
3 words.
3 words, man. That's.
You're saying more than 3 words right now. Just give it 3 words.
3 words to describe why Becca Lorch is the best nutrition coach.
Counts as a word. Don't say
Made, cut, easy.
Yeah.
Kobe.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
And that of course wraps up our fan questions. Thank you for submitting your fan questions.
Keep them coming. Those were good ones this week, guys. Let's keep this going.
I know. People want to know. People want to know information.
Becca, that was a little self-serving, but it's okay.
Exactly. So she got her plug, and she'll listen. But Anthony, what's kind of like? So of course, beginning of the year, 2022 goals. After Clash, what do you have planned for yourself? Like any other competitions? Of course, you have the 80 kilo competition that you're promoting, but what else is on the horizon for you? And we should keep out.
Sir. So I'm hosting the 80 kilo. We're going to do that here August 20th at Elitch Gardens in Denver. And then the 105 Clash in the Rockies in the afternoon. I've never done an OSG. I've never done one. I would really like to do that this year.
This is the year, especially if you don't want to win.
Right. Well, you know what? If I could come in third behind the two of you, I'm okay with that.
Man, you get in line. He's like Tommy Sharp wants a
everyone
shot at it.
Everyone wants a piece of us, Canby.
And you don't you don't forget about don't disrespect the Chad Currians and the Justin Loys of the world too, and even McKeegan. They're all as hungry for it. And
if Isaac Mays talked about coming back for it, if we could talk Clayton into coming back, we can make this a blowout, like a fun blowout weekend. Like everybody gets to lose to me at once, and it's amazing.
It's all got to come down to the events.
It doesn't matter. I'll win whatever. Except truck pull. No truck pulls.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I'm just so bad at them. I can't figure it out.
Okay.
I've done them across the world.
It'd be fun if you mixed in a max in there because they're always very moving oriented. Or
I would love a max deadlift.
That would be really cool. Or even like if they did like side to side reps, that'd be cool.
Yeah, bring that back a little bit. Hell, honestly, I wouldn't even mind a max press because I'm no Candy, but I ain't gonna take less than probably 4th or 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Max bag toss, that'd be nice.
But Anthony, where can our friends and family find you?
My Instagram is _muscles marinara. I should probably post more on there.
No, you shouldn't. Stay away from it.
We want to see more of your face.
More of a face. Well, I train at Iron Titan Gym here in Denver. I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. So if anyone wants to talk to me,
what's your phone number so all these people can call you?
How about they message me on Instagram first?
No, we put the phone number down in the comments so they can.
We're gonna do it. We'll put a phone number and also
and your home address and blood type and vaccination status.
What's your mom's maiden name?
That's a lot of questions.
What was the name of your first dog?
Enzo.
Oh my God. Stop it. You
My
say
father
Enzo?
named him. This is the last 4 letters of my last name.
Well, Anthony, thank you for stopping by. But I'll see everybody next time on the Winner's Circle podcast.
Where
Thanks
winners win and losers go home.
All right, let Anthony have the last word. Anthony, have the last word.
Thanks for tuning into the podcast, and hopefully we see you guys in South Carolina.
Hell yeah.
All right, yeah.